Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast. And in this episode, we're going to give you our review for episode 1 and 2 of Citadel, now streaming on Prime. This will be our new weekly review series. Guys, stick around. We have plenty of thoughts to say about it. There will be spoilers ahead, so you've been warned. Dylan, what an interesting show. What an expensive show. And what a very dark show. I couldn't see shit with the LET, but let's get your thoughts.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that. I had to wear my lens, crafter's lens. I was like, holy shit. Yeah. Some of them, the shots were kind of dark, but overall, I think it was a successful first 2 episodes. This is produced by the Russo brothers. You can kind of see their influence on it. It has this Winter Soldier, Gray Man-esque type of tone to it. Richard Madden, I thought was great. I haven't seen him for a long time, so it's great to see him back on the big screen. And Priyanka Chopra as well. Yeah. She was awesome. Stanley Tucci, I think he was my favorite character in this show. He just has this, I don't know, he's this funny, unapologetic dude, but he's also cold and calculated at the same time.
Right.
But give me your thoughts on these first 2 episodes.
Yeah, well, I think the cast is great. I never really seen Priyanka in a show before. I know she's been in some, but this is my first time seeing her act, and I'm really fond of her acting skills. Richard Madden is awesome to see back here. It does remind me a little bit of Mission Impossible. It's like a mix of different spy films, and I think that's good. They took some ideas. There's always some evil corporation that's trying to take over this and that, with a twist that he doesn't have his memories intact. Through
Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne, right? Exactly. They mentioned Jason Bourne too, actually. Yeah, so it does seem like it pays homage to all of these types of movies. And I think they do it respectfully while adding some of their own elements, like their new elements. Again, it seems really expensive in certain shots, especially the intro. I can't wait to see the gadgets and whatnot coming later on. I think now the dynamic, what's important is Priyanka and Richard Madden. So you have Mason and Nadia. Their relationship is going to be really important moving forward because one of them, Mason, doesn't have his memory intact. Right, it got botched, and Nadia has her memory back, from what I could tell. Right, she just recovered it in the second episode. So I'm really interested to see this. It looks like someone in Citadel program, they crossed Mason, or they wanted to kind of screw him over, from what I could tell. And Bernard is in on it, and probably Nadia too, because we see a little glimpse. So I wonder how that's going to play out. And you know what's complicated? He has a wife too now, and he has a daughter. So. Right. Yeah,
he built this kind of new life for himself. So it's complicated. Yeah, the show kind of gives me kind of Kingsman vibes too. It has this very cool Shadow War thing. So there's the Citadel is basically, I like the concept actually of a group of independent spies making their own organization outside of different countries, and they're at war with this kind of Hydra organization as well called Manticore, where it's these rich families have their own agency. I like that idea actually. I like the play that, because it feels very relatable to now, right? These are shadow government-esque themes. Yeah, I like the idea of their contingency for their agents is they actually delete their memories with the chip in their neck. I thought that was so cool. Actually, I've never seen that in the spy thing. It makes sense, right? It's like taking their actual memories out of their brain. It's so even if they get captured or interrogated, they can't really say anything because they lost all their memories. I thought that was so cool. I was so mad when he lost his memories though.
Me too.
When he was about to download it, and then the guy shot Stanley Tucci in the van. I was like, fuck.
Oh man, yeah, that was oh, come on, dude. You could have just did that real fast or something, man. I
wonder if they made a copy of it somewhere. Maybe he'll find it later.
Maybe it is a lot. I don't know why Bernard. Well, again, he's a spy. Maybe he has his ways or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually better for him to regain his memories, because he did create a new life with this version of Mason. So if the old version of Mason comes back, maybe he's going to be way more different. And I don't, there seems to be because we saw a preview to the whole season, there seems to be this romance between Nadia and Mason that they had in their past. And I don't want that to get in the way for, his new marriage, and he has a kid. So maybe it's actually best if he doesn't. I mean, he has his skills. That's what's really important. So again, it's a really cool dynamic, but I don't know if they have another copy. That'll be kind of weird if they did. Why lie? I don't know. It looks like they're going to screw him over. It looks like Citadel they have their soldiers, but they're really cold with them. They probably don't have what do you call it? W-2 or something at the end of the year or whatever, you know?
Their taxes.
Yeah, they don't have like a 401k.
Well,
I don't know. Yeah.
It seems like they're hiding secrets from them as well, because
For sure.
The first episode with the train, Nadia said she lied to Mason, and then there was like a flashback sequence where like she said like Mason can never know. So I wonder what that's about.
Yeah.
And he actually said too, like he lied to her too. So I want to see like their history together and their kind of backstory, how they got involved with the agency, how they met, and if there was kind of like this romantic engagement in the past or something, or if it's like a more casual thing. Yeah, I think they're both of them. They have their own like skill sets, and they're really great on seeing like their chemistry together. It works really well. I love Nadia. I think she's cool. She's kind of like this Bond girl badass, and she apparently like loves the color red. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
Like even though she lost her memory, she still like wears red for some reason, and maybe it's like this little thing in the back of her mind, right? What do you think of some of the villains in this series too? We have Lesley Manville as Dahlia Archer.
Yeah. She is, I mean, it's kind of funny how they always get British people to play the villains, but she's pretty cool. Actually, I'd never seen her in my life, so I think her performance was really great. She's very loud. I think she'll probably be a villain that's a little too tropey later on. I don't know if they're going to give her a little bit more personality and some more stakes rather than, oh, I don't want to die. It's like, well, what else? Do you have a family? Do you have this and that?
Right. She kind of gives me like Alexander Pierce vibes. Like she'll do anything for like national security, right? Even like sacrificing collateral damage, whatever. Yeah.
And we also have the twin, Anders. So that's cool. Played by Roland Møller. I probably pronounced that name wrong. Sorry. I'm sure we're going to see a little bit more villains later on. It seems to get a lot more futuristic in the later episodes for the preview we've seen, even the suits that they wear and stuff like that. I wonder what kind of private military company would, probably from Manticore, but how would that come into play?
I was actually surprised to see Ivo Nandi in this show. I haven't seen him since Boardwalk Empire, but I was like, I recognize that Italian accent somewhere. You know, so he's so like crazy in that one scene where he's fighting Nadia. He's like, ah,
yeah. Oh, that's the guy. Oh, yeah, that was actually a really great scene. Let me ask you, since of course the show's really expensive and whatnot, what do you think about the action sequences? Because that's really, I guess, the kicker there. It's the action.
I mean, they're not jump cutty for the most part. You kind of like see everything that's happening. It's very choreographed. It seemed like, especially with Nadia, I feel like she has this kind of relatable like martial arts training. There was that one scene with the train where like Mason was fighting that one dude with the glasses. I thought that was a little jump cutty because they kept going back and forth between the scenes, but not terrible. I mean, it kind of has like we said, like tropes from like Jason Bourne, James Bond, right? So anything you wanted, like an action sequence, this show definitely delivers that.
Yeah. I thought it was all right. There were like some kind of John Wick-esque type of moments with she was like shooting people like really close, and it was just really raw and visceral. And then we also see this sort of car chase, and they were using some sort of sniper that was like really sci-fi-esque. So I cannot wait to see more futuristic elements involved, and then mixing that with the action. That would be really cool.
I know you're a big gun dude. What'd you think of the firearms in the show?
I don't know why she used a 22 though. I mean, that's like, I don't know why she used a 22, because I have a 22 Beretta. Like, so yeah, go shoot a rat or a squirrel. Like, what the hell are you gonna do? Well, no, you'll be surprised, because they do slaughter like cows with like 22s or something, I heard. But yeah, no, it was pretty cool so far. I can't wait to see more. I don't know if they're going to have their own concepts in the show. I would imagine. I think the allure to spy dramas or spy thrillers is bringing a lot of the classics back. If it's like cars, suits, some of that, guns and whatnot, I think that'll be really cool to see a little bit later on. But for the most part, it's just like Glocks, your standard Glocks and this and that. So I think these two episodes I'm glad they released both of them. Because if it was just the first episode, I wouldn't have been really sold on it.
Would have been hooked. Yeah.
Yeah, but the second one I think was like a nice, like it'll keep me going, like and I can't wait for the next episode. I think it's a solid show. I think it is. I worry that it's going to be a little bit too tropey, or like you've seen it coming. type of moments where it's like, oh, I seen this coming. Like, oh, okay, it's cheap, right? I want to be surprised.
I think it's interesting that they did like an 8-year gap between the time that they lost their memories and the present. I think there's room for them to kind of go back and forth between the past and the present and see like how he built his life in those 8 years. And then also Nadia, like what she was doing in those 8 years too. And then we come back to the present and then they kind of reconvene and meet each other. Well, they did already, but they kind of, get their memories back, right?
Yeah.
I heard also that the show might have a few spinoffs. I think it's too early to see what those entail because it's only the first 2 episodes out, but I can't wait to see what they do for it. And I think overall, I think the first 2, like you said, like if they had just released the first episode, I probably wouldn't have been hooked, but seeing the second episode kind of made me want more a little bit. But I think overall it was successful. And I love also like the intro, like music titles. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. That it is really cool. I can't wait to see more. And again, I hope there's like different villains being introduced because I'm not super satisfied with Dahlia. I don't know. Again, you have to add stakes. You have to add something realistic.
She's basically British Hillary Clinton. Like, if you put Hillary Clinton in this show, that's the villain.
She's the placeholder. Right. So that's for season 2. All right.
Her big plan is that she's gonna cut health insurance forever.
Right. There you go. That's the big plan.
That's the evil plan.
Well, my friend, what would you rate this episode if you had to rate it?
Episode 1
and 2.
Probably I give 9 out of 10. Episode 8.
2.
Well, that ending 2 with Stanley Tucci. So episode 2. Probably I'll give it 8 out of 10 as well. So these first 2 episodes, 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would agree. I think hopefully episode 3 kind of sells us more on this idea of this man just, he's just got caught in this world again. And I hope it gets a lot more dramatic. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot more action sequences from that preview we've seen. But that is our review for Citadel episode 1 to 2. Again, now streaming on Prime. Go check it out. If you guys like this video, please make sure to actually like this video and check out our other reviews. We do plenty of reviews if you're new to this channel. And we have a lot more content for May. My goodness, we just looked at our business calendar and we want to crash in that train.
You can't see it, but Akram has pimples on his head from the stress.
From the stress, dude. I'm about to have my memories erased, all right? Just for this. But Dylan, why don't you take us away?
Yeah, guys, check out. We just did a review for Sisu, now out on our channel. We have so much content. We're still wrapping up Succession, Barry season 4. So much content, so check it out on wherever you listen to your podcast from, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and of course YouTube. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And until then, thanks for having lunch with us.
See you guys.